श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे।
Actually, I wish to know what is Savikalpa Samadhi and Nirvikalpa Samadhi.
See, the word, the question is what is the difference between Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Okay. So let's look at the word itself, the Vikalpa. Savikalpatvam, Nirvikalpatvam. Okay. So, and the word Samadhi also. The Samadhi, let's first look at Samadhi. The Samadhi word itself can be used in many contexts. There is things like Samadhiyate, Chittaha Asmin. The thing on which your mind rests itself can be also called as Samadhi. So Brahman itself in places is called as Samadhi. But in this context, the mind being focused on something is what we generally, Dhi means mind. Samadhi means where the mind is collected in one area. Okay, so that is Samadhi. So you have in Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Those are the 8 Angas. So they have a philosophy also with it. Essentially, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it says, Yogaha Chitta Vritti Nirodha. He says the mind is the problem. And you stop the thoughts. Okay. So once you stop the thoughts, then you are happy. That is their point of view. But Vedantis, we don't accept. So we say mind is not the problem. In fact, thinking itself is not a problem. It is only the individuality is a problem. How the thoughts affect me, right? So how I look upon myself and what affects me, that only creates a problem. If you are internally free, then any thoughts is actually a bhushan. We say for Ishvara and Jnani, everything is like an ornament. Swami Vivekananda, like he said once, right, that the more things become a luxury for you, the more free you are. The more things become a necessity for you, the more bound you are. Okay. So if cell phone is a necessity, then it's a problem. Till cell phone was a luxury, we are happy to use, right? But if we can't live without cell phone, then it's a problem. Right? Similarly, so things for a jnani, everything is a bhushan. It's like you good to have because he's free in operating it, right? So mind itself becomes it's an endowment. Okay, so he's endowed with a great mind. In fact, some of the jnanis are brilliant minds, right? Like we can look at Panini or Vedavyasa or Valmiki, and then the later people. See, it's unimaginable. Like Panini, Vyakarana and all, it could not have been done by multiple people because there is a single thought. But it is also not possible to have been done by one individual looking at the kind of complexity it is, right? Similarly is what is Mahabharata, right? There are nested stories after stories after stories and then he loops back. How could have, see, it's not like 100 people sat and decided let's write this, right? I don't think it has happened like that. But this one person's ability is very, that's why we see, though we say we are very intelligent today, but looking at the temples they were sculpted in those days, the kind of astronomy, astrology and grammar and even these commentaries. See, to understand Shankara itself, one line is not enough. He just wrote 10 Upanishad Bhashya and 1 Bhagavad Gita and Sutra Bhashya. But to complete it and understand, that means you think of the kind of level he was. Every time you read it again, it looks fresh. I know I'm talking about Samadhi, but I'll come to it. So there has been a lot of, so why I'm saying is, it becomes an endowment for a jnani, right? So the Chitta Vritti Nirodha is not necessary. So mind is actually not a problem. Mind is it's a gift given by Bhagavan, right? But they talk about Chitta Vritti Nirodha. If that is their goal, then they start with Yama, Niyama, you understand all that, right? So the external organs, how do you control? The mind, how do you control? Then asana, we know asana, right? So asana, pranayama. Then pratyahara, okay, it's again a dhyana only, in some form of dhyana. Then dharana, retaining your mind in one thing. Then dhyana, okay. And then finally they talk about samadhi, right? So after dhyana, once you have meditated, what they call a samadhi, I think more or less we also accept same thing, is when finally whatever you are doing meditation on in the dhyana, if your mind is fully fixed on it without being aware of anything else, that is your samadhi. Basically it is coming in unison with what you are, the dhyaya vastu, whatever you are meditating on, you become one with it. If it is a saguna, then you become one with it, being aware that that is different from me. Okay, that is a savikalpaka. Nirvikalpa, generally the way we understand is because it comes after nididhyasanam, right? So nididhyasanam is, you have a jnana that all that is here is Brahma. So suppose you gain a nishta on it, then there is no vikalpa, there is no object you are meditating on. Your own swarupa only is Brahma. So there is no object that is being meditated upon. So there is no dhyaya vastu. The dhyata only is the dhyaya also. So that is called as nirvikalpa samadhi because there neither there are thoughts nor there is another object on which you have resolved yourself into. So you are by yourself. That is why they say, once you gain this Vidyaranya Swami said, once you gain the nirvikalpa samadhi, then ajnanam is not there. So that means your karana sharira is not there, only Chaitanya alone is there. That means there is from Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira, whatever is making you a Jivatma, that is all gone. Right? Only Brahman remains. That is Nirvikalpa Samadhi.
Here, the Samadhi state, who willingly goes there, he, with consciousness he enters into.
Yeah.
How he comes back? Once he goes into a trance, it's like trance or...
Yeah, generally what we have seen is, usually you are disturbed by the environment. See, if you really get in, or your own hunger and other things also can assist. You have the body, right? So it's not that. So if the disturbance is so much that your thing can be affected, you come back. But we have seen, at least we hear about people have been in Nirvikalpa for 6 months and all that. We don't know. But I know we can do it for hours. 6 hours, 8 hours, you can be in Nishtha. That I know. I personally know. Okay. So that we can do. Because I used to be in, during my college days, I was a Shakta. I was into Tantra Sadhana and all that. That time I used, but that's a long back. Kapil Vidya and all knows. So During college days, we used to have a group. He's my college mentor. So we used to have a Vivekananda Nidhi. There was one students group. So I was part of that. Then we got involved with some sadhus, and there was one lady who was into Tantra Sadhana and all that. So a lot of us got involved in those days. So that time I was deeply into all this stuff. So I know you can do for hours. See, once you have create that this thing. And my mom knows. She used to be afraid. You can talk to her in those days. I used to sit in meditation for 4 hours, 6 hours and all that. She thought some ghost has caught on me, and she used to put bhasma on me and do aarti. So that was sometime. That time I didn't know about Vedanta and all that. It all youngsters, so we got pulled into a lot of different things. But what I'm trying to say is, you can do for a stretch of time. That I can say. Yeah.
If we constantly have kind of violent thoughts, like like hurting someone, and even that thoughts like format in dreams also, does that affect like karma? Like thoughts and dream will have any effect in on the karma?
On what karma?
Because
in the sense, are you picking up new karma is what you are asking.
Yeah. Like whether it will be good or bad.
See, one thing is, we don't have control on what thoughts come to us. Okay, nobody has control. You can't even tell next moment what thought will come to you. Correct? It doesn't take our permission. It just comes from our unconscious, right? So that means it's not a voluntary action on your part. So obviously, when thought comes and you are not doing any action based on it, then there is no karma for it. Right? Pure thoughts alone doesn't create any papa punya. Okay? But based on that thought, and if you are aware of right and wrong and you execute an action, then obviously there is papa punya for that thing, right? Because you are aware of it. Now, we can always say my pain is so much that I was not even in control. Okay? Then how does this whole karma play in? Okay, it is only compounding, right? These are all little complicated thing only, right? See, I can't answer that particular situation, right? When somebody is, in fact, Arjuna himself says, impelled by what does somebody does a wrong action? That is the question he asks. So, what is that? Baladiva niyojitaha atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha. So, anicchanapi varshne baladiva niyojitaha. So, he says even those one doesn't want, but he is pushed into it. In fact, Duryodhana himself says that janami dharmam nachame pravrittihi janami adharmam nachame nivrittihi. I know what is right, but I am not able to do it. Okay, I know what is wrong, but I am not able to stop doing it. Right? That's what he says. In such cases also, we have to assume that they get papa only if they do. Right? But then it is unfortunate that their past karma is so bad or vasana is so bad that they are not able to control knowingly. That's how we can answer that. But to your question, whether thoughts itself leads to karma, I don't think so. We cannot say that, because if you haven't done an action and thought, you have no control on. So how can we, unless you voluntarily employ, even then it is not an action, like it's not a voluntary action.
So what's happening is, normally like if I get a thought and I know like okay, I have to stop this right now, like this is draining my energy. But immediately again like that thought again continues from there itself, and then
so now it's a common problem. See, the more these kind of things, the more you try to suppress, it will only get more. Okay, because it is coming out of your unconscious only. Okay, it is effect of, see, especially if you get into Vedanta, it will get more. Okay, so what Swamiji used to say, and is because the more and more the conscious mind gets calmer, because you are doing dhyana and whatever, right, listening to Vedanta, the unconscious starts coming out. It's like psychology. See, many of this I am telling from what Swamiji tells, right? I haven't myself studied psychology, but he has studied a lot. So what he used to say is, even with marriages and all that, this is the same problem. See, okay, let us spend some time on this, okay? It's important. Okay. So, this is all Swamiji thing, okay? So, copyright to Swamiji. So, so when a child is born, right? The child is in the womb first, right? Before it is born. Then the moment it is born, it sees there is an infallible protecting me, which is its mother. Okay, it feels happy, comfortable, secure that this infallible is there to protect me, right? It doesn't understand anything more, it's just comfortable. Now after 1 year, 1.5 years, right, once it starts seeing the world, then one day she finds a cockroach and then she jumps, okay? Then her husband comes and says, okay, just remove it, don't worry, okay? Then this child is all Swamiji thing, exact same, whatever he tells, I am telling you, okay? So it looks at the father, and then the father becomes infallible, okay? And then Swamiji says, when it is 3 years old, this father, once he sees a snake, he calls the next house Nanu, so to come and take care of it. Then that infallible is gone. Okay, so the child becomes insecure. Okay, in the sense like who is, and then there are other problems, right? When at age of 3, when you go and leave the child in school, the child doesn't know anything about education, money is important, all the school is important for me and all. Even if you tell, it won't understand. It's a 3-year-old, right? The only thing the child thinks is these people don't like me. Okay, that's why children always cry when they are put into school. It's not the familiarity of environment. Immediately these teachers will play harmonium and think the child will settle down. It won't. Okay. Now this builds what is called as core personality. That is called unconscious. Okay, and many other things, right? These are like known issues. There could be things like the mother scolded, child won't understand why I am being scolded, or somebody beat it, or its brother beats her, whatever, right? So now all these is what make up our core personality. Okay. So when you are grown up, all this anger and other things you are talking about, right? All this emotion is all because of the imprints we have in our unconscious, which all happened in those formative years of 5 years old. That's why in our Shastras, they used to, there is a thing saying that Panchavarshani Rajavat, okay? Anantaram Dasavarshani Brityavat, Tadanantaram Mitravat Acharet. Like that it is said. Till 5 years, the child has to be treated like a king. You should give whatever it asks for. Okay. It's like you shouldn't be, because it doesn't understand any, disciplining and all that. Okay. Then next 10 years, it should be treated like a servant. That's when you discipline. Okay. There unconscious is already formed. There is no issue. Okay. So then you can discipline. And once it is 15 years, it's like a friend. After that, you shouldn't be beating the children. Till also you shouldn't beat. I'm not saying you should beat, but there are people who beat children after 15 years.
Yes, beating is there.
But this is what I have heard. Okay, but this is because unconscious is where. So in fact, Swamiji created. He used to initially say till 5 years don't put children in schools. Then people were not listening. Then he created this parental schools. So what he did was, after 3 years, if you put children in school, one of the parent has to be with the child inside the school campus. You don't have to sit in the class. The child should know where the mom is. That's all. Okay. So and then they created this programs for parents. Like there can be some yoga, something beneficial for them also, and child also settles down smoothly. Both my children I put in the schools only. Okay. So what I'm coming to is, so because of that, this unconscious, right? He used to say when somebody gets married, right, there is something called transference. Transference is, suppose you had an anger till your 5-year age with your father, okay, because he beat you, whatever, right? And it has gone to your unconscious. So because of fear, the child never expressed it, and then till like it gets married, let's say a girl child, right? It is quite okay. Now it doesn't even know. It is somewhere that anger is in the unconscious, right? Once married, that same relationship of father gets transferred to the husband. Okay, now you have some other infallible protection for you. So the anger in the father shifts to the husband. That's why the first years or 2 years of marriage is always turbulent because of this transference, he used to say. In fact, he said he understood this because when he had the ashram initially, these brahmacharis used to come, suddenly they used to develop anger with Swamiji. Okay, and he never understood why that was. Then he found out that this transference happens for men also with Guru, right? Whatever anger with the father, where does it get transferred for the boys? So now Guru comes and again there is absolute trust. Once your mind settles down on that, you have somebody in confidence, right? Now this anger comes out. See, it's only anger, it can express in any way, right? What is outside is only a trigger. The anger is inside the person. It is only who gets angry. Not everybody gets angry, right? That means it is same thing. One guy gets angry with another guy doesn't. That means what? It's not the thing which is making people angry, right? It is how it affects you. So coming to your question, so as and when your mind settles down, right? The conscious mind settles down, your unconscious comes out. So the Vedanta will actually help it to come out, but then you need to process it carefully. That's how it. Almost many of us, when we were in the ashram, we used to have these unconscious issues. Even I had gone once to Puja Swamiji and said, suddenly I am getting some anger and in fact some palpitation. So then he used to help. Okay, so these are things because you are processing your thing, right? So in Vedanta, it's actually helpful rather than it being in your unconscious. The more your unconscious comes to your conscious, the more your mind is actually settling down.
How did Swamiji help?
That is personal. So.
But is it that unconscious which also comes in the dreams? Is there a lot?
Yeah. Dream is obviously it's part of your unconscious and conscious. Right? See what happened in the recent past also influences your dream. But how you behave, whether it is dream or in waken, is driven by your unconscious only. That is your core personality.
Sometimes you have very weird dreams, which has nothing to do with what you do.
It's all unconscious only. In fact, you can see, right,
is
even
from past lives.
So
could it be from past lives also?
See, generally, I don't think so, right? Unless the core. See, there are two things, right? See, there is a genetic and probably past in your basic core. See, we generally believe in that. See, when we talk about even medically also, people believe there is a genetic makeup of a person, right? It is due to parentage and many things. And in our thing, since we also believe in many births and all that, so an imprint of previous birth could be there. See, these things, how do we know, right? What is genetic, what is past, we don't know. But predominantly psychological things are due to your childhood only, right? And how, with your genetic makeup, how you reacted to those situations. It's a combination at play. That's how I would understand this.
The other thing in Panchadashi, you said in Sushupti, the Pranamaya kosh is also not at action. It's not.
That is, you are not conscious of
but
it.
you're breathing.
You breathe. So
prana.
the prana is there, but you are not aware of your bodily energy, right? That's why I said you are not conscious of your pranamaya kosha, annamaya kosha. It's not available to you for cognition. That's all we can say. But your body is also still there.
So two different things.
Yeah,
And
see,
you're
that's
breathing
not
and
what you are
conscious.
asking is not only applicable to pranamaya, right? Even your annamaya is there, right? It is there, yeah. But it is not available for your cognition, right? That's what we say. Doubt, Laglera.
And in Penglu Upanishad, when Jaishankarji was talking, there was one stage in the fight which is Murcha. Three of waken, dream, sleep, Murcha, and then death.
Death.
Maran.
Murja is fainting.
So,
Right?
no, so the thing is that all the other are like natural or logical progression, but
Yeah.
Murcha is not something which is in my control. I don't want to be fated.
Correct.
So how does that fall in the rest of them, because they are like natural or a logical progression of things?
Either they are. என்ன கான்டெக்ட்
See, it is only a 5 states. Generally, Vidya defines it as a 5 states. Total action.
Okay.
He states there are Murcha and Mrityu
I
also.
don't think I
Then
listen to
adding
that
once,
portion.
then once he states Mrityu, he should take Janma also. He left Janma. So these are only.
But Murcha is something which is
odd man out there.
Yeah, it's the odd man out.
That's what she
Basically, we want to cover all experiences. Otherwise, you can say that I am not there in Murcha. If you say that should not be the case, correct? It is I fainted only, correct? Still the same I continues. That's why that state also is defined.
Like I slept, I dreamt, I woke up, I
I
fainted.
fainted. It's not about
I,
story.
Yeah. I is the image, whatever may be the state or experience. That is the whole idea. Generally,
No, but
Murcha
choice is
and
not
death
important.
are not
Even
included.
but
sleep
even in
is.
sleep
No,
there's
no,
no
there is
choice.
no choice.
But
Yeah.
they
You
still
sleep
make
in
sense.
gas.
I mean, okay, if I sleep, I may have dream, I get tired, I sleep. But
You don't choose to sleep, no. Sometimes you just
goes off.
See, even if you don't want to sit in class, sometimes you get sick.
Yeah. And if too much young happens, so we just
It's not about being in control and all that. Basically, we want to cover all your experiences and show the I is the invariable in all. Even after death also I is going to remain. That's why death is included there.
Murcha and death both are included apart from this.
Yeah, see, that is why somehow Swamiji avoids some of these things. The reason is you don't need those kind of things to show that you are Brahman. See, he always says is the current experience of you sitting and seeing and listening to this itself is enough to show what is Brahman. So you don't have to say that, okay, you exist in deep sleep. All those things are not necessary. Just one of the prakriya to show. Murjata generally, I don't think it comes in Shruti also, but there is the Ubhayata Prajnam and all that comes. Na Prajnam, na Prajnam, na Ubhayata Prajnam, na Bahish Prajnam, all those things in Mandukya. The different state of awareness it speaks about, like where you have the mixed, so you are neither sleeping nor awake, or those kind of things, right? So that is also covered. Saying that I am neither of these states, okay? But all these states are me, but I am none of those. So that is a kind of thing. In fact, you don't have to even be cognizant of the world to show that you are Brahman, right? That's what we say. Because of Maya and Shakti is your creation. And your mind is also part of that. So the Brahman by itself, we can't even say it is Sat cognition, it cognizes, it is consciousness. We can't say. Because unless there is an object of consciousnness, where is you being cognizant of anything, right? So it is only to show what is Brahma we use that. Otherwise, in fact, Nasat and Nasat Uchyate, it neither Sat nor Asat, neither existent nor existent, non-existent. It's how Shastra talks about that.
See, the Atma is everywhere it is there. It cannot be measured or it cannot be sarvavyapi. But I think in Kathopanishad it says that Angushtamatra, it defines that this Atman resides near the or near one Angushtamatra size. It also says that it's not affected by heat or anything. So much discussion is there, but again it defined that it has got a size.
Yeah. So the Sarvavyapitam we already said. So the moment we say Sarvavyapitam, we think as though it is spatially pervading. Okay, that we don't mean that way, right? Space itself is dependent on the Sadvastu. That means if the Karyam, any Karyam is Karanat Ananyat. Okay, or Karnena Ananyat or Karanat whatever, right? So basically the Karyam is not separate from Karana. That is the idea, right? The Karya Karana Prakriya itself is the cause is not separate from effect. In fact, the causeness is only mithya. I mean, the effectness is only mithya. The cause alone is satyam. Right? That is the idea. So now space being dependent on Sadvastu, and it is never away from awareness. The space is space only if it is an object of awareness and our consciousness, and there is nothing that is there which is away from consciousness, right? All that is here, none of it is away from consciousness. So what is not away, we are saying, is mithya. Consciousness alone is satyam. And whenever it talks about dimensionality also, this Angushta Matra Purusha and all that also, it is the same thing, right? It is beyond all the dimensions. But Hridaya as a Upalabdhi Sthanam is spoken about. So where is this available for you to cognize? It is only in Buddhi Guha. See, this whole hidden and all that is, right now you are seeing a paper. You are only seeing a paper, right? And there is a cognition that there is a paper is there. But the whole thing is sitting only on Brahman, the Sadvastu. But you are not aware of it. So which means what? It is hidden in, so it is most subtle in what is happening now. Because it is right in front of you, not in, I don't say front of you is figurative, right? It is right there in your cognition, Pratibodha Viditam. But you are not able to see. Like this Chidambara Rahasyam, right? You open the screen and there is nothing there. And we say Bhagavan is there. So there are many, you have to see many very excellent temples if you want to understand Advaita, right? One is this Chidambara. Then I don't know if you have gone to this Gokarna. That is called Atmalinga Swami. Okay. So there is no linga there. Like in Atmanatha Swami in Tiruparandurai also. Avadiyar, that Tiruparandurai in Tamil Nadu. Again there is no linga. It is, so the concept is your Atma is linga. So if your Atma is linga, it is not outside, it is actually inside only. That is Sarvavyapi Brahma. So who, the Panditji doesn't do puja in Gokarna. You only have to go and do puja, right? They'll ask you, they'll give you the plate, you can go to Garbhagriha and do the puja. Because it's your Atma, right? So who can do? Only you can do puja, right? So all those things are for you to understand what is the Vastu. Right? So why I went to Chidambaram, I forgot. What was this? This dimensionality and all that, right? All pervasive. Means when you are seeing that Chitsava, that the seer, it is hidden in the seer. That's why it's Rahasyam. When you can, it is in front of you, but still you don't know, right? That's the greatest Rahasya. So typically we say, right, if you want to hide something from the thief, suppose you have a thief in your home, you have some precious jewels, where will you keep? The best place is keep it under his own pillow, right? That is the last thing where he will search. So like that, this whole thing is hidden in your own Swarupa. Right? So that's why they call it as a Rahasya. And opening of the screen is removing the Ajnana, right? So symbolically, that's what it is. So actually the Rahasyam there is removing the screen, not what is behind it. So it's actually Ajnana Nivritti is what is spoken about, right? Otherwise, see, why did they have to have a screen? Think about it, right? See, everything is part of the same. See, in Chidambaram, I don't know, people from north won't know. Chidambaram is a temple in southern India. Okay, you will know. So there, the Lord is in the form of consciousness. Okay, and they say call it as a Rahasya. There will be one screen, and they will open. There won't be anything. There will be one Tulasi Mala. I mean the Bilva Mala there. That's all. Okay. So the idea is, when the screen is removed, it's your Ajnana Avarana which is being removed.
Yeah.
So once you remove, you see your Swarupa as Ishvara there. That is a Guru. In fact, Puji Swamiji used to say, even this Deeparasi in our South Indian temples, a darkness is created in Garbhagriha, intentionally created. So they will have Ardha Mandapa, and then a narrow passage, and then the Garbhagriha, and there will be DT there. And in those days, anyway, you can't put electric light and all that, so it will be very dark. Okay, and you only see some little bit glimmers, like there will be some Basma, like Shivalinga will be there. So you will have a Chandra Prabha, something. So the person there can only say there is something, there is possibility of something being there. That is a glimmer of hope which comes through your Ananda in life, right? Then this Guru is called Gurukal. The Guru is the one who takes the camphor and then he shows. That is your Shruti Vakya. Okay, then the Ishvara is actually, he comes to light Bhagavan. Then you see, hey, that is the Bhagavan which is there. So the whole idea is this Jnanam, the Guru gives you the Jnanam by which you see that Atma Vastu. And initially you just see some glitter, which is basically like gives hope that that is probably something that is like called Atma, which comes through the happiness you get every now and then we spoke about, right? So that itself, see, everything in there can always see, and Puja Swamiji is another expert, right? He even gave meaning for cross. He said the vertical is time, horizontal is space. Okay, when Jesus as a Jiva is crucified in time and space, then the Brahman comes out in the resurrection. So the Jnani as the Jivatma goes away and the Jnani comes out of the time and space. He says, I can make out Vedanta meaning for anything, just that they won't listen to me. He used to say. I mean, this is all brilliant, right? Nobody can think like this. Giving meaning of cross with Vedanta, right? Then temple and all is nothing. It was designed that way.
Even for apple, you say karma phala.
Everything. You want to sing some bhajan? Then we can have some bhajan, maybe 10 minutes. Any question? Okay, yeah.
பெற்றதாய் தன்னை மகமறந்தாலும் பிள்ளையை பெறும் தாய் மறந்தாலும் உற்றதேகத்தை உயிர் மறந்தாலும் உயிரை மேவிய உடல் மறந்தாலும் கற்ற நெஞ்சம் கலை மறந்தாலும் கண்கள் இன்று இமைப்பது மறந்தாலும் நற்றவற்றவர் உள்ளிருந்து ஓங்கும் நமச்சிவாயத்தை நான் மறவேனே. நற்றவற்றவர் உள்ளிருந்து ஓங்கும் நமச்சிவாயத்தை நான் மறவேனே, நான் மறவேனே, நான் மறவேனே, நமச்சிவாயத்தை நான் மறவேனே. शंभो स्वयंभो ओ शंभो शिव 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 शंभो स्वयंभो शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो गंगाधर शंकर करुणाकरा मामव भवसागर तारक गंगाधर शंकर करुणाकरा मामव भवसागर तारक शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो निर्गुण परब्रह्म स्वरूप गमागमभूत प्रपंच रहित निर्गुण परब्रह्म स्वरूप गमागमभूत प्रपंच रहित निज गुण निगित निदांत अनंत निज गुण निगित निदांत अनंत आनंद अतिशय अक्षय निज गुण निगित निदांत अनंत आनंद अतिशय अक्षय लिंग शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो गंगाधर शंकर करुणाकर वामव भवसागर तारक शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो दिमिद दिमिद दिमि दिमि गिड गिड तो दिमिद दिमिद दिमि दिमि गिड गिड तो दरि गिड गिड तो दिमिद दिमिद दिमि दिमि गिड गिड तो दरि गिड गिड तो मतंग मुनिवर वंदित ईशा सर्वदिगंबर वेष्टित देशा मतंग मुनिवर वंदित ईशा सर्वदिगंबर वेष्टित वेश नित्य निरंजन नृत्य नटेश ईशा सवेश दिमि दिमि गिड गिड तोम दरि गिड तो मतंग मुनिवर वंदित ईशा सर्वदिगंबर वेष्टित वेश नित्य निरंजन नृत्य नटेश ईशा सवेश शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो गंगाधर शंकर करुणाकर मामव भवसागर तारक शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो 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 पार्वती पदे ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः 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 शिव 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 चिदंबरेश 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 महादेवा हर हर 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 महादेवा ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिव 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 चिदंबरेश शिव 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 चिदंबरेश शिव 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 चिदंबरेश ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namo. Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namo. Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namo. Namah Parvati Padaya. Sadguru Maharaj ki jai.
ஞான சம்பந்த திருவடிகளே போற்றி போற்றி போற்றி. சிவா திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். தோடுடைய செவியன் தோடுடைய செவியன் தோடுடைய செவியன் தோடுடைய செவியன் தோடுடைய செவியன் விடையேறி போத்துவன் மதிசூடி தோடுடைய செவியன் விடையேறி போத்துவன் மதிசூடி தோடுடைய செவியன் விடையேறி போத்துவன் மதிசூடி காடுடைய சுடலை போடி பூசி காடுடைய சுடலை போடி பூசியன் உள்ளம் கவர்கள் ஏடுடைய மலரா ஏடுடைய மலரா ஏடுடைய மலரா ஏடுடைய மலரான் உன்னை நான் பணிந்து ஏத்த அருள் செய்த ஏடுடைய மலரான் உன்னை நான் பணிந்து ஏத்த அருள் செய்த ஏடுடைய மலரான் உன்னை நான் பணிந்து ஏத்த அருள் செய்த பீடுடைய பிரமாபுரம் மேவிய ஏடுடைய பீடுடைய வீரமாபுரம் மேவிய பெம்மானி வண்ணன்றே பீடுடைய வீரமாபுரம் மேவிய பெம்மானி வண்ணன்றே ஏ ஞானசம்பந்த திருவடிகளே போற்றி போற்றி போற்றி. சிவா திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். சிவசிதம்பரம்.
Shiva shrine, they deliberately create the darkness. Why is that? Can anyone answer?
Krishna, that's how you can see the Jyoti, like the knowledge itself, you can see the real Brahman.
Yeah, so why darkness?
That's what the ignorance is covered.
So it actually stands for Ajnana.
Yeah.
So they create the darkness so that there is Ajnanam that it symbolizes. That's why in Shiva shrine only all that. So if the Nataraja, for example, right, he is already dancing, so it will be fully lighted up. There will be like so much of lamps and lighting, and it will be glittering. Like they say, right, in Tamil, they will say Alankara Priyaha Vishnu, Abhisheha Priyaha Shivaha. So Vishnu, because he is a manifest Jagat with all attributes, he is a sthiti, right? So he is like Saviseshna. That means Vishnu you just decorate with all ornaments. Shiva you don't decorate actually. In South they'll just have one white dhoti only, and even everything, this color, Bhasma only you can, because it is Shuddha Chaitanyam, right? So it is white colored dress. You should have only white colored Bhasma for Shiva. All that. And Ambal is all Shakti, so it's all red salary, then Sindoor, everything should be red. So that whole, everything is, actually if you see temple, it's all Advaita only. Right? Though they say Saivagama and all that, but actually it is only Advaita. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Yena Mahim Mahishah Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamasti Nityam Lokas Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Shobharahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaah Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet Asato Ma Satyamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om